School is the most important thing in your life. And while I hate school, I got a PhD. And I hate school. I hate everything about it. So somebody say, E, if you hate school so much, why you get a PhD? Because I hate school, but I love options. You can have average skill, but you can't have average will. You can't have average will. Like your will has to be phenomenal. You have to see basketball as the gateway. It's like a passport. Basketball is just your way to get in, and then once you get in, boom, then you dominate. So I'm telling you, you're not taking a test because they're giving you the test. You're taking a test that's about to change your life, your mama's life. And I know if you take the test serious, you'll kill it. When you go through your go-through, your siblings are watching you. When you go through your go-through, your friends are watching you. When you go through your go-through, your parents are watching you. And people will use your strength to get through their stuff.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, E.T. Welcome to another edition of Free. FreeSummerSchool.com. Knowledge is the new money. Get you something. Look, they can take a lot of stuff from you, but they can't take what's up here. They can take a lot of stuff from you, but they can't take what's up here. All right, so you keep building that brain. It's a muscle. Did you know that? Did you know the brain was a muscle? You keep building that thing. It's going to bless your life. I know. I'm a high school dropout. I couldn't stand school at one point, but knowledge is the new money. Get you some. I know you don't like school. I know. Do you like you? Do you love you? I'm telling you, when you get this new information and you apply it, I'm living a new life, y'all. It's different, y'all. So today I want to talk about for real. And I kind of talked about it on the last one. That victim boy, let that victim boy go. That victim boy is, you playing the blame game. That victim boy is everything that's happening to you, you don't take responsibility. And there's always something or someone else. It's always something else or someone else, right? Always. It's something external that happened that created and caused, your woes. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling y'all, even I take responsibility when it ain't even my, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even on me. Like, for instance, I told y'all my biological father, like, I didn't go, all right, my man ain't in my life. He ain't gonna never be in my life. And so I'm gonna, no. I was like, yo, he is your fault. It's your fault for, you know what I'm saying? Like, putting all this, like, my man got a choice when I was a kid. He had a choice not to be in my life. Like, that don't got nothing to do with you, E. When I was a young adult, that don't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has nothing to do with you. You can still reach out. You can still build a relationship. And I did. And we started building a relationship. Listen to me very closely. I was playing the victim role. Like, oh, it's your fault. You ain't went. No, it's like, yo, let me take control. It ain't necessarily my fault that we ain't got that type of relationship. I was 1, 2, 3. You weren't in my life, but I'm a grown man now. Now I can initiate the relationship. You feel me? Now I can take a trip to Chicago, knock on the door. And are you hearing what I'm saying? So is it my fault? No, it's not my fault I was born and my parents weren't married or they weren't in a healthy relationship and they didn't, you know what I'm saying, co-parent me. That ain't my fault. But it is my fault as an adult if I keep put your fault, and just say, yo, flat out, E, we're gonna make some different choices right now. Why? Because you're not a victim. Life didn't happen to you. You feel me? Like everything it ain't happened to you, right? It happened for you. And now you can take that thing that happened for you and I said it, my son said all the time, don't, it ain't the hand that you was dealt. It's the way you play that hand. It's not the hand that you were dealt. It's not like the best hands always won on the poker table, on the big, in Vegas, on the big table. Like, it wasn't like the best hand always won. That's not the truth. It's not the best team that always win in the Final Four. It's not the best team that always win in the Olympics. It's not the best boxer that always won. It's not how it goes. It's the person that took advantage of that moment, that seized the moment, that did everything they were supposed to do to control the circumstance, right? B, give me, sound the alarm, B. Sound the alarm. I got something for you. Listen to me. Look on the screen. Take responsibility for your life. My. Watch the key word here. Take control, take responsibility for your life. And you will take control of your life. One more time. Take responsibility for your life, and you will take control of your life. I got one more for you. You have the power, right? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Look, you're gonna find strength when you stop looking out and you start looking within. The strength is there. The strength is there. I know you going through it. I know your circumstance ain't the best. I know your living conditions ain't the best. I know your parents didn't always make the right decisions and financially y'all ain't where y'all need to be. I get it. There are things that you can't, you feel me? It's stuff that you can't enjoy, stuff that you don't have that you should have at your age. Your parents, they dropped the ball. Let's keep it 100. They dropped the ball. You're not in the best situation. I get it. You not. There's some things that are happening, some events that are happening. You like, yo, this ain't even right. This ain't even fair. Mom, where you at? Dad, where you at? I feel you. Trust me when I tell you I feel you. And I know what it feels like to feel rejected. I know what it feels like to be abandoned. I know what it feels like to be alone. I know what it feels like to be isolated. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you. I know what it feels like. But one day I said, E, you can't keep playing that victim. You can't, you got to be a victor now, which means what? The difference between a victim is everything around you, is everything, you know what I'm saying, everybody else. When you, the victor, you go, you know what? Give me the rock. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. Let me get that. Put that in my hand. Put the responsibility in my hand. Give me the rock. Let me get that. Because I know I can do a better job than you doing. Man, I'm telling y'all, I you know what I'm saying? Much love, respect for Kobe. You know, I was way more, you know what I'm saying, in that era with MJ. You know, I'm from Chicago, Detroit. So the battle, you know what I'm saying? Like the battle, Pistons first, but then I'm rocking with the Bulls, long as they ain't playing the Pistons. Kobe Bryant wasn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know he's great, but I was with, you know, MJ. But I've been studying, of course, like many of us now, the life of Kobe a little bit differently. And I used to think Kobe was a ball hog until I read where Cole was like, yo, I'm not going to pass the ball to my man because I see how he playing in practice. Flat out. I see how my man playing in practice. I ain't about to pass my man that rock. The way I work, the way I practice, as hard as I go and I grind, like I ain't giving the rock to my man. I feel you. Some of y'all parents, y'all teachers, y'all coach. I feel you. You like, yo, I don't trust them. Take the rock then. Take the rock and do something with it. Don't dog nobody out. You take the rock and do a better job with the rock than they did with the rock. In each generation, I want my kids to do better than what I did. My mom wanted me to do better than her, you know, her generation did. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let's go, y'all. Stop being a victim. Start being a victor. Small steps, great distances. Now you know. Let's go. I want the knife, please.
Look, the youngest was just sitting here. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah, they young. They young. Hey, I saw a picture. I saw a picture. I thought it was a boy. It's actually a girl. I saw a picture of her now. She's like 40 years old. I'm like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I thought it was a little boy.
Gold child.
Yeah,
Golden
it
child.
looked like a little boy in the movie. It was a little
Yeah.
girl.
Wow.
Please.
Victims mentality. Victims
Ah,
mentality.
Okay, it's 11:30. We good on time for everybody? Everyone?
we can get through there.
All right.
3, 2. Knowledge is the new money. Get you some. Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. I'm your host, Quincy Harris. Before we start, I just want to let students know that change and growth will be uncomfortable. Get used to it. That's it. Change and growth will be uncomfortable. Get used to it. E, let's talk, man. Today we're talking about victims mentality. I don't know any students out there that you know blame things on other things, but can you explain the victims mentality today?
Bruh, you just said it. You just said it. Yeah, blame. It's the blame game. It's my mama fault. It's the dog. The dog. Man, I go back to middle school. I'd spank me myself now. You know, if I could, I'd spank myself with some of that dumb stuff I was saying. There's always somebody, my father wasn't in my life. My biological father wasn't there. My mother got me. What I was saying is if the circumstances would just do what the circumstance is supposed to do so I could be what I'm supposed to be. That was what I was on. Cue some dumb stuff. The circumstances they don't got nothing to do with me. It's E. What are you doing? And so for me, man, I just never took ownership of my life. I never took ownership of my actions. I ain't take ownership of nothing. I always gave the responsibility to somebody else. It was always somebody else's fault. It was always somebody else's problem. It always somebody. But then one day, man, I was blessed. Michael Jackson came out. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. And I asked him to change his ways, bro. And so I woke up, became successful because I stopped making it about everybody else. And I did what C always say, self-assess. And I started saying, hey, they ain't the problem, E, you the problem. And watch this. If they are the problem, you still the problem. Want to make sure you catch that. If they are the problem, you still the problem. Because if you saying they the problem, we talked about it on another episode, you giving the power to them by saying they the problem. Anytime you say it's they fault, they wrong, they did, you giving them the juice. So it's my fault regardless. Why? Because it affects my life. And I man, there's some things I want to do, see, and be before I get out of this joint. So give me the key, bro.
Let's go to Kale, man. Kale, talk to us.
Man, I think I was watching Will Smith say something like, what happened to you was not your fault, but you are responsible for your own healing.
Yeah.
After that happened. Like, you have to take, it's not about fault. It's about responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about fault. It's about responsibility. For example, I used to be a manager in a kitchen, and I had to open up. If I open up the kitchen in the morning at 6:30 and none of my food is ready, I can't be like, hey, it's the person who closed fault. I can't open the kitchen. Ain't nobody gonna eat today because the person who closed didn't do that. The kitchen is my responsibility. I'm the manager. So no matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, I still have to get food out to my customers. So when people start thinking about life like everybody's supposed to serve their best interest, they are often going to play the victim because nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. Like, nobody owes you even fair treatment half the time. You owe you is what ET said. You owe you. You are your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. No matter whose fault, no matter what happens to it, you owe you. So take responsibility. And a word this generation don't like, take accountability. Take accountability. Look at yourself and say, how can I get myself out of this mess? Even if you didn't get yourself into the mess, how can I get myself out of this? How can I get myself to a better place? Take accountability and take responsibility.
Auntie Val, talk to us.
Let me
She
get
looking it up.
What'd you say?
She looking it up.
Yes, definition. Websters.
All right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not
Auntie
gonna do
Val
that.
Webster.
The blame game. Defined.
Right. So you know what? I might take a pass, y'all, because it's deep for me. Y'all talking to me today already. Y'all really talking to me already because it's me versus me almost today for this one. It's really a me versus me. So I'm gonna listen on this one. Can I take a pass?
Oh, listen.
Grown. Oh, you grown.
Listen,
You say you grown.
You grown.
You grown.
Hey, E,
Look, I
E,
might have to come back. I'm gonna just take.
Okay.
You do whatever you want to do. You grown.
E,
Yeah, that's good.
E,
Though.
it's something you said, E. You said when it's their fault, it's still my fault.
It's my fault.
Right. And that concept right there, I want the students to really understand. If you can get that now, oh, you'll be dangerous. You'll be dangerous. I never forget. I've been on the radio, and radio is almost like being on a basketball team, right? And certain people, like you were on the team together, but they're not working hard, right? And I'm like, man, we not getting the number one because of you. Right, we're not getting the number one because they didn't give us enough money. We not getting the number one because, and I'm giving all these like blames out to all these other people. And moving forward, it was like, oh, Q, but you hired that person to be on the team, right?
Yeah.
So you should have had a little bit. You should have took the DISC assessment. You should have had everybody take the DISC assessment. I'm just being real, right? So you can understand who these people are that you're dealing with. But it all started with me. Once I took the approach of, I wanted to work with you because I thought it was going to be a good idea, and I didn't have the foresight to see that you didn't have the skill that we needed here. It's on me, right? So everything now I go, and I just got this at. I know I look 26. I just got this, a couple of months ago.
27.
At 27, I just got this. So I'm just saying, if you can get that, like, hey, it's not everyone else's fault. Maybe it's your fault for picking that person. Maybe it's your fault for thinking that your friend could be a business partner. Maybe your friend could be a good person that you can team up with for an assignment in school. No, you wanted to have fun while working. Time can't have fun working. So I just want you to, if you guys can really get that concept now, oh man, it'll save you 20, 30 years of heartbreak. Please get that one, because I was Magic Johnson of giving out blame in my earlier years.
That was good, Q. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought of a story, Q. Can I tell it?
Come on, Auntie Val.
My dad, when I got my grades, I used to say, no, the teacher don't like me. The teacher don't like me. My father said, I don't care if she like you. She's not your friend. She's not there to be your friend. She's there to teach you. So if you're flunking your class, how's it her fault?
Yeah.
So I found other ways to blame people besides woe is me. I kept saying them. The teacher, I got all the way to 5th grade. And my father said, if you ever tell me the teacher don't like you again, you're going to have a problem.
And I'm sorry.
What'd you say, Q?
No. Finish your thought. I'm sorry, Auntie Val.
No, I'm cool. That's it. I just, that changed it for me. That's when it changed the game for me. When my father said that to me.
And I have to remix it because I said Magic Johnson. Some of you don't know who. I was the LaMelo Ball of.
There you go.
I got to know the audience.
CP3.
CP3. Blame. I
Chris
apologize.
I thought it was great. I was right with you, Q. I was Magic, yes.
I did.
Devin Booker. I don't, I'm just, I'm trying to think of some younger people.
I don't know those people at all.
Q said it, John Stockton.
Oh, man. Listen, let's go to Coach B. Coach B, talk to us, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to use a word that Moose actually said on the previous episode. He said ownership. And I think that's really the solution for the victim mentality. You just have to take ownership over everything. Like E said at the beginning, even if it's not your fault, if you think about it like it is your fault, you're going to be better off. Right. So I remember I've told the story before about how I went to the men's gymnastics team at University of Michigan, got cut 4 times in 5 years. That first year that I was cut, I had every reason to blame it on somebody else other than me. I was battling an injury. We had the #1 recruiting class in the entire country that year. I was distracted that whole year. That was the year my dad got cancer the first time. My mom was diagnosed with an incurable autoimmune disease. Like, my mind was in different places. So many different reasons where I could logically explain away why I got cut from the team. To this day, one of the hardest things that I have ever done mentally is take full ownership over that and said, you know what? All of these other things, they're actually rational reasons why that may have happened. But what if I were to act like this is 100% my responsibility and my fault? What could I learn from that? What could I learn? How could I grow from treating that situation that way? Because the best excuses are the ones that you can learn the most from. When you might actually be able to rationally explain it away and say, this is a legit reason for a failure or for this thing happening, really analyzing yourself and your role in that, that's when you learn the most, because that's the things that everybody else says, that just happened to me. No, start really looking at yourself. And that's how you get out of that victim mentality. So again, to use the word that Moose used, ownership is how you solve that mentality.
Yes. Candace, let's talk victim mentality.
Awesome. So everybody had some amazing things to say talking about ownership. And I was just thinking about my life. And it wasn't that deep. Like, if I go back to when I was 14, 15, and I'm like, okay, Candace, I got to think about the future. I got to think about what's next. What really came down to me was, what do you want? What do you want? Period. What does your future look like? What type of house do you want? What type of car do you want to drive? Whatever. And I don't mean to be superficial, but it was superficial for me. Like, I wanted to be able to make sure my bills were paid. I wanted to. So for me, it didn't matter whatever happened to me, whether I did it or somebody else did it. It didn't matter because I have to get to this destination, period. So when it comes down to it is, we don't have to get deep. What do you want? What type of life do you want to live? Because if you want to live the certain way, it doesn't matter what you did, what whoever did, you're going to have to start making choices and decisions right now to help you get there. So that's all I would say is, it doesn't matter. Yes, in some cases, someone will look at your life and say, yes, fair. Like Coach B said, you're justified. You were a victim. Where does that get you? That doesn't get you to your end goal of where you want to go. So I would say that it doesn't matter. Focus on the results. Focus for where you want to go. Everything else, I don't want to say it like this, but it's for the birds.
Where were you? Where were you when I needed this? And I was 12 with no goals, no dreams, 14, no doggone plan of action.
Yeah. Mustafa, talk to us, man.
Yeah, I can't help but think about the word excuses every time you guys say victim's mentality. You know, like I don't know that I connect with victim's mentality, but I'm like, oh, excuses. Like that's the underlying issue here. That every time that you're giving the power to somebody else, as we've said, you're really just making an excuse to sit in what is happening instead of getting to something else that can probably take away what is not helping you right now or what is not serving you. So I'll be short and sweet with this one, Q. You got to really be able to make a difference between excuses and explanations. Not that explanations are any better, but just know that whenever you're making excuses, you're making it okay to sit comfortably in something that's not serving you instead of moving to something else that can better get you forward or progressive, accomplishing your dreams and goals.
Powerful. Charles Terry Jr., talk to us, bro. Take us home.
All right. So I heard a few people say it earlier about not letting the devil ride with you, because that joke gonna want to drive eventually. Either way. So when you look at it, don't be guilty of having a victim's mindset. And then when you look up, you start complaining because you're in hell. So that's kind of the thing. So don't dance with the devil and get mad because you're in hell. So to Moose's point about excuses, my grandma used to always tell us that excuses are like armpits. Everybody has them and some of them stink. Okay. So the thing is, right. There's another version of that, but I'm going to keep it clean.
Yeah, right with grandma.
But yeah, so just know that excuses are what they are. But when you entertain the wrong company, when you entertain the wrong avenue or the wrong, goals or whatever it is, you're going to end up in a place which you don't want to be in. And it's nobody's fault but your own. So set the goals, make sure the goals are clear, check in with somebody who's actually will hold you accountable in the right direction. And then you more than likely will look up and you'll be at a successful place.
Dr. Eric Thomas, PhD.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
Talk to us.
That's it, y'all. Now I can get in trouble for saying this, but we want to move from a victim mentality to hell to the victor. Okay, we want to hell to the victor, y'all. Hell to the victor. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got it. The victim is the victim. We got to go for the. We got. I mean this in totality. It's not had nothing to do with sports right now, but the victor, y'all. We got to move away from the victim, and we got to become the victor in our lives. Small steps, great distances. Now you know. Let's go.